It's a beautiful Sunday, December 7th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's number one casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, always a good time. And the college football playoff is set. And it feels good to have the squad in it, Ted. Here we go, baby.
We are in. Not only are we in, we're hosting, baby. You got to love it.
It's before we dive into all the reactions, it's just think about where we were after OU lost to Navy last year in that bowl game.
Woo. Yeah.
And I'm talking about like all of us, the fan base, like everyone involved with this thing. We were not feeling good, man. And to be hosting a CFP game in Norman on a Friday night only game. What else could you ask for, man? This is the good stuff. Let's go.
Yep. It's fantastic. Yeah, you're gonna have all eyeballs on Friday night, playing at home, and you could say what you want about the matchup, and we'll get to it, but you're hosting another blue blood on a Friday night in a playoff game. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, it does not. Let's dive into these college football playoff rankings. We'll kind of hit the OU stuff first, and then some of our other thoughts after it. Let's just look at the rankings real quick. Indiana, the number one team in the country. Indiana. Signetti. Google that man. Wow.
Google him.
Number one. Number two, Ohio State. Number three, Georgia. Four, Texas Tech getting a bye, which is huge for the Red Raiders. You've got Oregon at 5, Ole Miss at 6, Texas A&M at 7. The Sooners checking in at 8. They will play Alabama, who gets smacked in the SEC championship game, but doesn't move, stays at 9. Miami in at 10. We'll definitely get to that. And then Tulane in James Madison at 11 and 12. Ted, let's start with OU situation. First of all, I do not understand anyone that's not excited for OU to play Alabama in the college football playoff. I saw some stuff like,
are there people out there that exist?
Yes, it's like we've already played them. It's kind of boring. I do not understand that at all. And especially the saying it's hard to beat a team twice. I've always thought that saying was stupid too. Especially when we already played them in Tuscaloosa and won the game. And that game, the result of that game broke people's brains. I mean, we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure over the next few days, over the next week, we'll hear that Alabama outgained us in that game. But, dude, it's Bama in the college football playoff. This is going to be awesome. I get that we've played them a couple times in the last couple of years. Maybe it doesn't feel the same, but it's still OU Bama in a first-round playoff game.
It should feel totally different. Now, when we played in Tuscaloosa, I guess you could theoretically say it's a win or go home situation, but you would have had to finish out the season. But now it's literally win or you're done. And I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, when you see Alabama, you watch what Georgia did, a lot of similarities to what Oklahoma did to them. Bring a ton of pressure, heat up Ty Simpson, change some stuff on the back end, make their backs protect, and they have a really difficult time on offense. Still can't run the ball well. I mean, who cares who you play in the first round as long as you can win the football game? Would there be other matchups that maybe are more interesting or um, make people feel a certain way? Yeah, but the ultimate thing is to win and advance. And since that's the ultimate goal, I don't hate the matchup. I know we can beat them. So you have to, you start right there. I mean, it's not going to be easy. We have to play. I mean, you could argue we have to play a better game than we did when we played in Tuscaloosa, but I think the matchups are there for us to take advantage of.
I I feel good about it. When you talk about a rematch, Brent Venables getting to game plan again for an offense he's already seen. I like that matchup. I don't care who the other person is calling plays for the other team.
Yeah.
Give me BV in that situation. But the Sooners were the 8 seed, just like we thought they would be. What was your reaction when Bama turned over at 9? Because I let out a very loud whoa.
No, I did not expect it. I didn't know where Alabama was going to go. I had a feeling that they were still going to be in, but I totally expected to see Notre Dame there, honestly.
I'm with you. I thought we were going to get OU Notre Dame. I thought it was going to be the Friday night game, just like it is. I or I thought maybe, hey, okay, if they get Notre Dame out of this thing, then we're going to get Miami. It really didn't cross my mind until I saw it flip over, especially with how the SEC championship game went. I was like, okay, Bama, still kind of awesome. I could live with that. But I think a lot of people were surprised that they didn't move at all because they did not look good against Georgia, Ted.
No.
And they are a beat up football team. A
Yep.
really beat up football team that had a bunch of key contributors not play or play hurt in that SEC championship game. And we all saw what that looked like. That game was not close, brother.
No. And that's one of the reasons I like the matchup is because I say you play in Miami instead of Alabama. Well, Miami is kind of the same as Notre Dame. They haven't really been tested a whole lot as of late. And I know Miami has the 2 losses and they were tested in those games, but you look at Alabama, they've had to lay all their cards out on the table. They're not holding anything back. Whenever you're really studying someone, you have to find out like what's their DNA whenever they have gotta have it moments, critical third downs, critical red zone situations, backed up, like all these different scenarios. And Alabama's been living in that for a month. So you get to you have a really good menu to choose from as to what you think they're going to be going with. It's not the same with Alabama Miami, so that's just one of the other reasons I like the matchup. But yeah, I was shocked. Yes, whenever I saw Alabama there.
I and I think that we were kind of anticipating Notre Dame for what felt like a while now.
Yeah,
So I think a lot of people in this fan base we were kind of ready for that matchup. We'd been mentally preparing for that matchup. And then it was Alabama and it was just like, "Wait, what? How'd we get here?" But I still think this ultimately for me, when you look at this matchup, I'd rather play Alabama than Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's a better football team than Alabama right now. And it has a lot to do with the injuries that Bama's dealing with and how one dimensional they are offensively. Ty Simpson is having to do entirely too much for that football team. And he was just getting destroyed against Georgia. So, and maybe they can get a lot of guys back before this game, but it does not feel like Bama is a team that is peaking at the end of the season. If anything, they have they've been declining over the last several weeks.
Feels like
And
they're kind of hanging on for dear life right now.
that's how it feels to me.
They're wounded.
So I say all that to say I have no idea why any OU fan wouldn't love this matchup.
Right.
First of all, it's Bama, right? I mean, I know that we've played them a couple times, but it's still Bama, man. And then don't we want the team in the first round that we think we can beat?
Yeah. 100%.
And we know we can beat because we already beat them this season. And they're more banged up than they were then. I just and we did that. We went and won in Tuscaloosa without our Mason Thomas. It's just it feels like this is a great matchup for OU. A team you can beat, you've already beat, that's banged up, just got whooped in an SEC championship game. I don't know, man. When you look at the bracket, I'm looking at it going, who can we beat in the first round in advance? And it feels like Bama is, I mean, it's not the best draw. It's not James Madison. Okay. I get that. But it feels like Bama having to come to Norman's a pretty good draw for us.
I totally agree. Yeah. Like I said, and you pointed out, like we're peaking at the right time, and it feels like Alabama's trending down and hanging on for dear life. And I think whenever Oklahoma went into Tuscaloosa, we kind of gave Georgia their tail, so to speak, and Georgia they put 6, 7 guys at the line of scrimmage and brought heat all night, and Alabama didn't have an answer for it. So I don't know that. I mean, they're going to find some different ways to try and create some stuff, but if you can't block the guys up front, you can't block the guys up front, and it's hard to find a way to all of a sudden have that be a strength of yours where we are right now. The other part is they've had some real special teams problems. Alabama has, and that's got to be something that we absolutely take advantage of, and we know it's part of our formula. So you feel like you got an edge on 2 of the 3 sides of the ball, and we'll see what happens with the offense. They've got some guys banged up. I saw Jefferson, number 10 for them, backer, was hobbled, limping off the field. I didn't ever hear what it was with him, but didn't look good. So yeah, the goal is to go win a championship, not have a pretty contest in round 1 that you can talk about and feel good about, trying to go win the tournament.
Exactly. That's why when I see people being like, oh, I wanted Notre Dame. Who cares? I don't care what you wanted. We got Bama, and they're kind of limping in. Like you said, Ted, this is about, hey, can we go win the thing now? And when you think about OU as a team, yeah, it's been defense and special teams. We all know that. If the offense can get just a little better, get a little healthier with this break, if you get our Mason Thomas back, and we'll see, then you're going to be able to give Alabama, no matter what they're looking like from a personnel perspective, you're going to give them your best shot, and you're at home. You can't ask for anything more than that. Listen, I know the OU helmet and the Notre Dame helmet on the same field would have been sick. We all agree. OU Miami, same thing. Would have been awesome. We all agree. But Bama is a beat up team and should be operating with a ton of confidence right now after what just happened to them.
Yeah, and I don't know, but if I had my pick, I wouldn't mind playing a team that lost their last game before they're coming in, right? Where the confidence, you lost your last game coming in, lost it handily, and you're coming in you're going to go on the road and play a team that not very long ago came into your house and beat you up physically. And I'll say the same thing whenever all this talk was going on for the last week or two about whether Oklahoma should be in or not. You go in and you can ask all of the coaches in the tournament if they want to play Oklahoma, and I guarantee you they'll be saying no. And Alabama's staff is included in that group.
I am so excited. We've seen some good atmospheres in Norman, man. We have, whether we were playing in them or now calling the games. This is going to be an all timer. I mean, we're finally getting our SEC night game, Ted, in Norman.
I know it. I know it.
It took to the playoff, but we're getting it, baby.
Hey, and Friday there's gonna be some logistics going on here on campus and everything else, but the fact that it's the standalone game on Friday night, it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait.
Have you let yourself start looking at the path, the entire path for the Sooners?
Yeah,
Are you,
of course.
okay? I just wanted to make sure I'm not the only one. And it sounds so stupid because we all just watched Indiana beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. We all just watched it. And for whatever reason, and I'm not saying it's right, but it's just the truth. The fact that Indiana is sitting there and not Ohio State just makes it feel much more doable.
Yeah, if you're
it's just the truth. It shouldn't be that way. We just watched them beat them, Ted, but it's with Indiana sitting there as the one seed, you're like, hey, we can beat Indiana, right? It's Indiana, even though we know that is a dang good football team.
Yeah, it's hard. Like it's almost like it's almost built into your DNA to start looking at logos, isn't it? And it's like, oh, we win, we get Indiana, awesome. But that is a really, really good football team. I don't know that anyone's doubting that. And the real question is, should Ohio State even be in the playoff since they have no offense? What they put up 10 points against Indiana? Offense is just atrocious.
Okay. But I feel like we've hit all the OU stuff. We need to hit just kind of like our initial reaction, right?
Yeah.
You got anything else OU wise? No. We're pumped to be the standalone Friday night game. Bring on Bama. Let's go. They're banged up. Didn't look great against Georgia. Anything else?
I think we're good.
Okay. Let's get into our kind of the conference championship recap / bracket reaction for everyone else.
Let's do it.
But first, download the Loves app from Love's Travel Stops, your guide to savings on the road. Fill up for less with a discount on fuel, 10 cents off on every gallon of gas, and 25 cents off on every gallon of auto diesel. And don't forget, in the store, you can unlock mobile deals on the Loves app to save on snacks, drinks, and select meals at Love's restaurants. Plus, you can plan your pit stops for your next road trip with the map and route planner. All from Love's, the heart of the highway.
Steaks are back. Didi Ranch's luxury steak cuts are restocked and ready to ship straight to your door. From mouth-watering ribeyes to silky smooth fillets, this is the best beef Oklahoma has to offer. And here's the kicker. They're now shipping next day air for free when you use code SOONER at checkout. That's right. Next day air like Amazon Prime, but for steak. Didi Ranch delivers taste and tradition the luxurious way. Order today at DiddyRanch.com and get your steaks just in time for the holidays.
And we were brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma-owned company and the official drinkware partner of the OU Sooners. Guys, have you wrapped up your holiday shopping yet? Let me let you in on a little secret. Simple Modern has amazing holiday gifts for everyone. You can get a Mesa tumbler for your wife, a Voyager 360 for your coffee-loving friends, or be Dad of the Year with so many different gift ideas for your kiddos. Check out Simple Modern's complete gift guide at simplemodern.com and delight everyone on your holiday gift list with just a few clicks. And with 10% of all profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, every sip supports Oklahomans on and off the field. Simple Modern, good everywhere. Do you want to start with the Big Ten championship game or the Miami Notre Dame situation?
I'll let you call the shots.
Everyone's talking about Miami, Notre Dame. So let's start with the Big Ten championship game. See what I did there?
Yeah, I like
When
that's
when
fine.
everyone else is zigs, we zag.
Perfect.
Really good football game. I did find it very interesting the commentary around the defenses in this game. Great defense was being praised far and wide, Ted.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Interesting. What both teams, neither team got. What was the final yardage in this game?
340.
322, 340. We're not
Yep.
putting up 500 yards of offense or anything. We're just praising Big Ten defenses. Gotta love it.
Well, I
It was a
I
great
thought
game.
it
I really enjoyed
I
it.
thought it was a great game, and it kind of feels like there's a little bit of a defensive renaissance going on right now in college football, doesn't it? I mean, it felt like we watched that in the SEC this year. It's like the first one to 21 or 24 was going to win the football game. And that's kind of how this one was physical. There was some big hitting going on. It was hard to find stuff down the field, even though that's really what the bulk of all the plays were chunk plays, right? Whenever you had to have them, they came up with them. Um, all in all, I thought it was a fantastic watch. But yeah, I mean, you look at Indiana and you say, man, it's nice that that's who's on our list and or on our bracket, but God, you just look at the dudes on Ohio State's team and it's like, man, I know I just watched Indiana beat them, but still, I feel like if I had my choice between the two, give me Indiana.
Well, it's kind of this simple for me. And I think a lot of people feel the way that you feel. Do I want to play Jeremiah Smith or Charlie Becker? And Charlie Becker, baby, was the MVP of that game. He made the biggest plays in the game,
Yep.
including the one that kind of sealed it on that third down late. But yeah, it just Ohio State has dudes everywhere, man,
Yep.
which is probably why they stayed at number 2. Were
Yeah.
you surprised that Georgia, with how dominant they were in the SEC championship game, were you surprised Georgia didn't get bumped up to the 2 seed?
No, I thought that there was going to be a chance of that, but it didn't surprise me at all. Close game, came down to the end. Ohio State misses that field goal, and Indiana is able to get a couple of first downs, run some clock, do enough to get the win. Incredibly close. You know, I thought that there was a chance, but I thought most likely they were just going to slide Ohio State and Indiana, just kind of flip the spots. Didn't know for sure. And, honestly wouldn't have had any problems if they had put Georgia 2 and Ohio State 3, but I guess it wasn't that big of a surprise to me.
There were some, if you're an Ohio State fan, I could see how that entire fan base Saturday night and all of today are going, we should have won that game. I mean, you missed a 27-yard field goal to tie the game. And what, like
You
the
think
last
they
3?
should have gone for it? 4th and 1?
I thought he was going to go for it because he did the first time. Remember, that's when saying his knee touches on the QB sneak. And so there's a couple sequences in this game, like some situational stuff for Ohio State, where you go, yeah, if they just do this or do that, they win the game. Which I'm guessing is what the discussion revolved around with when it came to the debate between Ohio State and Georgia. Is like, hey, are we sure they shouldn't have won that Big Ten championship game? Not to take anything away from Indiana, but I'm assuming that that was a big piece of the conversation in debating Ohio State versus Georgia. But yeah, I was a little surprised he kicked it when he was aggressive earlier in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a
Yeah.
27-yarder. You're not expecting your guy to go
No.
full Lehman and Ikard off the tee and just rip it left.
Yeah, that was tough. And I was like, I wasn't all that surprised because of how close it was, but at the same time, I'm saying like, you know, sometimes in these games you just got to go win it. instead of leaving it up to a kicker and all that does is tie it up and they've got a chance. They're going to get the football back. All they got to do is go kick a field goal, which, in this football game is not like it's some easy accomplishment to go be able to do. But, I didn't really necessarily have a problem with it one way or the other. I just thought it was interesting and was curious as to what Ohio State's fan base thought.
Yeah. Is Ryan Day back on the hot seat? I I still think, and it may not be fair to Indiana, but I still think Ohio State's the most feared team in the field.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And once again, that's not fair to Indiana. They just beat them on the field, but I just think if you ask all the other coaches that are in the 12-team tournament, hey, who do you not want to play? You're going to get you're what, 10 of 12, you're probably saying Ohio State?
Yep, I would imagine.
I don't know if that's fair or not. I think that's just the truth. Miami and Notre Dame out. Whoa. It felt kind of messed up that it didn't switch until the final ranking, but I guess you've got all the data, you've got everything collected, and you can sort through it all before the final one, Ted. I don't know. If I was a Notre Dame fan, I would be furious.
Yeah. Whenever that Alabama popped up next to us, I was like, oh boy, here we go. That is not a good sign for Notre Dame. And yeah, they flipped them. I don't know why they waited, but the one thing, and Toby always says this, and a big part of me agrees with it. It's what makes the whole thing so damn interesting, right? Is that there's nuance there, and there's a discussion that goes on. It's not just your record is this, your seed is that, you're in, you're out. There's a big long conversation. And I mean, how much attention did that argument draw to college football over the last 10 days, 14 days? People talk. I mean, it's in everyone's conversation, standing around the coffee pot in the office or whatever everyone's doing. So, I mean, I think that's a part of it. I do hate it for Notre Dame that they're in, and then in the 11th hour, they get booted by Miami. But I thought Miami should have been in ahead of them. They beat them head to head. I mean, I think that's all you needed to see. My point is this. Miami and Notre Dame should both be in. So should BYU. We shouldn't have Tulane and James Madison in this thing. But I know that's just how it goes, and that's the bylaws of the situation. But we shouldn't really even be talking about it. It should be set with all the teams that we know should be in.
Completely agree. And then if you're talking about that, then Vanderbilt's over on the side like, hey, wait a second, what about us?
Right, yeah.
So they've got to change this. It feels really, really silly that Tulane and James Madison are in this. It just does. And
yeah, I mean, you just look at the bracket and it's like, hang on a second. Who is that? James Madison and Tulane, especially with Tulane already played Ole Miss this year and got absolutely crushed.
Yurchek said that they didn't even discuss that if Miami wouldn't have gotten in, that the ACC wouldn't have had a team. I don't believe him. There's no way they didn't discuss that.
Well,
by the way, shout out to Duke.
Point,
heck of a performance. Congrats on the championship, boys. Everyone was dogging you for weeks, and look at you, ACC champs. Let's go Blue Devils.
Here, I would rather see Duke in it than James Madison or Tulane.
Darian Mitz is fun to watch. Where did he come from again? Sorry, Tulane fans.
Yeah.
But you have to imagine that the two bloodbaths that are going to take place in the first round are like some change has to come from it. You know what I mean? And this is something I was thinking about. When you look at the bracket, there's like Tech is the 4 seed, right?
Yep.
And Georgia's the 3 seed. Those teams, in my opinion, have a big advantage as far as preparation over the 1 and 2 seed in Indiana and Ohio State. Because Tech and Georgia, they know who they're going to play.
Yep.
They can start working, like Texas Tech is going to be working on Oregon until they play in that game in the quarterfinals. And Georgia is going to be prepared for Ole Miss the entire time. And I know they've already played each other, but they get to focus on those teams because they know that Tulane ain't beating Ole Miss.
Yep.
And JMU's not beating Oregon. Meanwhile,
and if
Indiana,
they do, we'll work on them whenever they do. Right?
exactly. And in Indiana sitting there as the 1 seed, you're supposed to have the biggest advantage, right? You're the 1 seed. Now, I know you get the bye, but they're sitting there going, well, we got to prepare for both OU and Alabama.
It's just like last year. Oregon was the 1 seed and had to play Ohio State, right? I mean, it's not that big of an advantage at all.
I saw Oregon at 5 and Tech at 4 and went, the football gods, they've smiled upon Oregon after what happened a year ago.
It should really be, it should, like, James Madison and Tulane should be playing to see who goes and plays the 1 seed.
That would make more sense, yeah.
But it's like,
and it'd be a really good game.
But then you're guaranteeing like one of those teams makes it to the second round. I mean, I guess there's no easy answer.
No, I hear you. The easy answer is the group of 5 doesn't get a spot.
Right. Unless there's like a once every 8 or 10 years team that beats a top 25 non-conference Power 4 opponent in non-conference, goes undefeated, smashes everyone they play. Then it's like, okay, that team has a legitimate claim. But this, not so much.
Oregon has to feel like the big winner of this whole thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, you get by far the weakest by team, the top 4 seeds, and you get a team that you're a 4 touchdown favorite over? Yeah.
And they're going to play Tech in the Orange Bowl. So it's not like they're going to Dallas and playing Tech or something like that. And this is where I give probably my strongest take of the bracket. I do not think Texas Tech is that good. I've been pretty consistent with that this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've got a really solid defense. I think their offense is okay. I don't think they have any chance to win a national championship at all. That's how I see it, man. And they're going to have every opportunity to prove me wrong. But I just do not think they're on the same level as Ohio State, as Indiana, as Georgia. That's just, when I've watched them, that's just not what I have seen. Like when you watch that Big 12 championship game and then the SEC championship game came on, you're like, ooh, kind of some different level athletes in this SEC championship game. You know, that's just, Tech's going to have to just prove it to me because and maybe this is my newly established SEC bias.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're good enough all around to like truly make noise in this thing. But nope. Like I said, they'll get every opportunity to prove me I'm wrong.
They will. They will. And if they beat Oregon and they're in that second round game, because I would say like they also probably like Tech. I don't. I mean, like I don't think Oregon's like the true five. Like I'm not complaining about where they ended up in the ranking, but I don't know that I'd have them the fifth best team in this group of teams. Would you?
The thing for me is like, why is Oregon ranked ahead of Ole Miss?
Right.
Uh, and hey, congrats to the Big Ten. Three of the top five. Pretty good.
Yep.
And that is one of the things when you look at the bracket, we're about to find out. Is the SEC better? Is the Big Ten better?
Yep.
We're going to find out because it's going to be OU or Bama against Indiana in the second round. We're going to get now. I guess if Miami beats A&M in College Station, then we're not going to get that matchup. But I'm hoping we get an A&M Ohio State, and then
I love the A&M Miami matchup.
it's going to be awesome, dude.
I kind of there's a lot of similarities between the two teams with like the explosive skill position players, the defensive line talent. There's just to me that is a pretty compelling matchup.
That feels like the most compelling matchup of the first round. Everyone's seen OU Bama. We kind of know what type of game that's going to be. It may not be.
OU Bama's going to be a low scoring grinder, and Texas A&M Miami may be too, but it could also be like a 45-43 type of game.
Right. It could look very similar to what A&M Notre Dame looked like early in the season.
Yep.
But those are clearly the two first round games that everyone's going to be invested in, which is it makes it feel nearly criminal that Miami Texas A&M game is going to be an 11 a.m. game. That feels like it should be against the law, Ted.
Yeah. That is. Oh, is it? It's the 11 a.m. What's the other night game? I thought it was the other night game.
No, because remember the night game. Oh man, James Madison, Oregon. Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah, you've got Miami at Texas A&M, 11 a.m. Central, and remember it's that the Friday night and then the 11 a.m. are on Saturday are the ones that are on ESPN. The other ones are on TNT and HBO Max. So instead of getting Miami, Texas A&M, getting OU Bama on Friday night and then Miami, Texas A&M on Saturday night, we're going to get James Madison in Eugene against the Ducks on Saturday night. Find it on TNT and HBO Max.
Wow. Well, hey,
I'm glad I could break this news to you.
Yeah. I don't know. I just assumed dumb.
Oh, yeah. You just assumed they would put the great game at night in primetime? What's wrong with you?
11 a.m. Brutal.
Brutal. Anything else about the bracket? I do find it interesting that Ole Miss is ahead of A&M despite Kiffin moving on to LSU, but I guess it's a classic example of, hey, better to lose early than late.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't have
Ole Miss's loss is definitely better.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
They got better wins. They played a much tougher schedule than A&M did.
I think Kiffin leaving, I think some people thought that would have a bigger effect on how Ole Miss is viewed, but I'm glad they stayed at the 6. I think they've got a better resume than Texas A&M now that A&M got beat by Texas the way that they did.
Yeah. The only other thing that I thought was interesting is, did you hear Clark Lee talking about trying to play a game?
Yeah, amazing. I wish that would have happened. That would have been amazing.
Well, that's what I was sitting there. I was like, why are we sitting here like arguing over who's going to play? Why aren't we watching Vandy, Miami, and like Texas, Notre Dame or something as play-in games right now?
The lead-in games to Army Navy,
Yeah, yeah, whatever it is.
a Friday
Yes.
night game.
Yeah,
Yeah. I it does feel and I feel like the 12-team playoff, like this, all of the debate that has taken place over the last couple of weeks, it feels like a lot more people have been talking about college football, which is a very good thing.
mm-hmm.
I wonder if we lose some of that if we go to 16. I don't know. But you heard a lot of people today being like, hey, I wish we were at 16. Like a lot of very influential people in the sport. So maybe it's as simple as, okay, we're just going to get to 16. Is
We
it going to
had
be
to
an
have
11?
this result to get to 16.
We had to have this controversy. We'll get to 16. It'll be the best 16. I don't know. I feel like the big problem is the group of 5 getting a team in. Like it feels like that's where everything has really gone wrong with this structure. But as far as I can remember, it's like an antitrust thing. I don't know, but
Yeah. It's what happens when you have 130 teams in the same division.
it's true. It's a big division. It's a
Big
little
division.
different than the NFL. People want to
Yeah.
talk about the NFL all the time, which is interesting. Can I just point this out?
Please.
I saw people don't want to see Tulane Ole Miss again. Okay, I get it. That game wasn't competitive. I get that. But then there's people like, OU and Alabama again, a rematch? It happens all the time in the National Football League. And we don't say a word about it. Ever.
It's almost a guarantee.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my goodness. Can you believe they're playing again? Can you believe the Chiefs and Bills are playing again?
Oh, no one wants to see that.
I've seen it. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Hey, it's okay that there's a rematch. I saw so many people be like, I can't believe the committee set up a couple rematches. What's wrong with them? Is it really that big of a deal, man?
Right. Well, I'm happy with it. Just go win the football game. All right. Let's just go win that game and continue the party.
Anything else before we get to call your shot?
I think that's it.
Now, I forgot to put this part in the OU section, but at least I remembered late is better than never, right? That's what they say. We asked you guys your thoughts on OU getting Bama in the first round CFP game. This first one comes from Bradley Presley. He says, interesting. The discussion has been OU wouldn't have beat Bama if not for turnovers. OU undeserving. Offense terrible, etc. OU was outgained by Bama 412 to 206. It says those the committee said, you got to prove you belong. Great opportunity for OU to silence the critics again.
Yeah.
I kind of like the way that Bradley's looking at it. It is, I mean, how many times did we hear, oh, but Alabama outgained by 200 yards? Well, here we go.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's weird how, like, all of a sudden, I'd never really heard this before. Talking about a football game to where the turnovers you forced were apparently a bad thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if it wasn't for the turnovers, hang on a damn second here. What do you mean if it wasn't for the turnovers? If it wasn't for us getting a huge sack fumble where he jarred the ball loose, punching out a punt return, or intercepting a route and taking it to the end zone, it's not like they donated us the football or something, fumbled the snap and we dove on it. I mean, you earned every one of those.
I'm telling you, man, the metrics piece of college football is starting to poison people's brains because now you hear it all the time. Turnover luck. People think that like forcing turnovers is just, kind of just maybe it happens or maybe it doesn't. Like, oh, they were lucky. They forced turnovers. The other team, you hear the other team shot themselves in the foot. How many times? Oh, they shot themselves in the foot. They turned it over 4 times. No. The other team took their gun from them, slapped them across the face, and then shot them in the leg with it.
Yeah.
That's what forcing 4 turnovers is. Not, oh, they shot themselves in the foot. They had 4 turnovers. I mean, bad turnover luck. No, 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 no. That's not football, man. Stop letting the analytics, and you hear this like, oh, well, if they just had a little better turnover look, they win the game. Like, what are we talking about, man? When you take the ball from the other team, that's just good football. It's not luck, dude.
Yep.
I'm so tired of hearing that. And this doesn't just apply to OU. It's just football in general. It's just, oh, they've had horrible turnover luck. You mean they keep giving the other team the damn ball? Like, they've got horrible luck.
Well, if it's luck, then the national champion and the Super Bowl winner is decided by luck, because almost every year, turnover margin at the end of it, you go look at it in the NFL, guess who number one is? Almost always the Super Bowl champion.
Just anyone that's listening to this, just let me know how many times when someone is previewing OU Bama in this game, they go, well, in the first matchup, Bama just shot themselves in the foot. They turned it over. That's not going to happen again.
They also shot themselves in the foot by getting a punt blocked against Georgia, so
that was rather significant in turning that game and the way that it ended up playing out. Dude, Georgia looked. Whew.
They look good. They're just they're three-phase, all-around, incredibly solid football team.
Let's get to one more call your shot. This comes from Dustin Sanders, who says, I'm pretty pumped about a CFP game in Norman, but let's be honest. The real reason we're all happy is for a live Oklahoma Breakdown podcast.
Woo!
Now, we have a call tomorrow morning about this, so we do not have all the details. As soon as that is established, we will let the people know.
As great as the Friday night game is, it does
it complicated our plans. Yes,
yeah.
We are having to. That's what the call is for. We had a plan. Now we are having to make. We're gonna have to make a decision here, and the decision is not up to us. We're gonna let the professionals make the decisions. Ted.
That's right.
And we're just gonna say, all right, we'll be there. We'll show up and we'll preview this football game.
Just tell us where to be and when to be there.
Just tell us what day and what time, and we will be breaking down some OU Bama live.
Awesome.
You know what else is awesome?
What's that?
OU's General Manager Jim Nagy. That's called a segue, Ted. Let's hear what OU's GM thinks about their 2026 recruiting class. But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
And head to the garage for hand smashed patties, butter toasted buns, and ice cold beer. My go-to is the double bison cheeseburger. It's so good. The garage is the perfect spot to watch any big game, and you can enjoy Rad Hour every day. Enjoy discounted domestic beers, house wines, draft cocktails, and frozen cocktails Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you or order online from the garage in your neighborhood.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
It is our pleasure to be joined by the general manager of Oklahoma football. he just wrapped up his first full recruiting class. Jim Nagy is in the house. How we doing, buddy? How's it feel?
Doing good, guys. Feels great. Feels great. It's a little bit like after an NFL draft. You love your class. Love these guys. No, really excited. It's an exciting time. A little quieter around the office today. A bunch of guys I gave our staff off, gave them a long weekend. So some of the guys are already out of town already. But we're in here calling agents, trying to get retain next year's roster. But yeah, really exciting time to be a part of the program.
I imagine it's got to be nice to get this first class under your belt and look back at how it went. And as you start to gear up for the next one, whatever things you would do differently or not do differently, have that experience to go off of.
Yeah, for sure, Teddy, for sure. And then the signing day itself, just not knowing what it looked like and what it was supposed to look like was great. And I did want to single out a couple people. I did at the press conference yesterday. I saw some people edited that part out. I thanked a lot of people at the beginning, and they just slashed it. So I get it. But Danielle Koval in our compliance and Grayson Fuller on the legal end of things. I mean, we're basically pulling all-nighters for a couple nights, Monday and Tuesday night. I think they probably collectively got about 8 hours sleep, a couple hours each night, working on all these contracts. So wanted to single those guys out. Taylor Red, that put in a ton of work, one of our assistant GMs as well on the contract side, getting all that prepared. But yeah, man, it was a really fun day around here. We had the coaching staff, scouting staff, the recruiting staff, the students that help out. We're all in my office, and by BV's office, kind of there was the signing day epicenter. And when the guys would sign, we'd get them on a Zoom with everyone or a FaceTime call with everybody. And we were playing music and having a party up here. I really wish the playlist that we were playing for signing day was what we were playing out in the stadium on Saturdays. Maybe we'll get that done next year. But it was fun. It was a good time.
Oh, don't get the fan base started, Jim. Oh man. Now
You don't. We did. I'll just say this: we didn't play shout. We didn't play shout.
Okay. Okay. Well, hey, you're the general manager. You change whatever you want, buddy. Hey, next season.
No, that's not how this works. But
okay. Okay. All right. All right. Now, let's dive into the class. You guys sign. You go 24 for 24. Seemed like it was pretty drama free, which is always nice. And
Yep.
anytime you're talking about a recruiting class, you got to start with the quarterback position. And it seems like you guys got your guy. And when you look at Bowe Bentley, mobility, he's got the arm, he can make all the throws. He just seems like the type of athlete you want at the quarterback position in modern college football.
Yeah, and most importantly, the type of athlete Ben Arbuckle wants. So that was the great part is we were aligned on Bowe from the beginning. After watching his tape, it was great that Ben had a lot of conviction in the player. That's an ideal scenario for us right now is when the coaches have full conviction, we have full conviction. Yeah, there's a lot to like about Bowe, man. I mean, he's you put on the tape, you guys have seen it. He's a true dual threat. Guy runs track. He's played lacrosse. He's a multi-sport athlete. A lot of that carries over. You see it. He's a really good athlete. But what I love about him, he'll stay in the pocket. He can make plays from inside the pocket. He's not afraid to stay in there. But he'll also get out, and he can be dangerous with his legs, and he sees the field. When he breaks contain and gets away, he can still see it and make throws, and he can make a lot of different throws. You don't see a lot of high school guys that have multiple pitches, if you will. There are a lot of times they're just fastball throwers. This guy's got some change up to him, and he can throw a touch. And I pointed to it yesterday a little bit. Like I love the fact that he's been up here in Norman so many times this fall and been around Team 131. I think it's going to be hard for us to replicate what this team became from a culture standpoint. Certainly that's the intent. We hope that happens. But you guys have been part of probably all four of your teams you guys played at. Were a little different, right? So we've got a pretty cool energy right now in this building, and Bowe has seen that. So that's been a real benefit of having him down the road. Doesn't mean we're just going to target quarterbacks in the driving vicinity of Norman moving forward, but it's certainly a benefit. And his family's the right family. We're really invested in families as well. Jason and Kara are great people, and he's a great leader. So yeah, man, there's a ton to like. I could go on and on, but I know we want to talk about some other players as well.
Hopefully, I can word this question right. I'm wondering if you have a favorite like case or situation where you know you look at a player and everyone would love to just go get 10 5-star players, right? But there's the money aspect, there's like the evaluation aspect. Are there any cases where the value you think where you found a guy, whether he's like a 3-star or wherever, where you think the evaluation that you guys have in-house really beats everyone else, and you think that maybe there's a diamond in the rough type of player, if any of that makes sense?
Yeah, no, it certainly does. Certainly, you'd be remiss not to. You have to acknowledge the fact that finances play a part in this now. It just the scholarships aren't the currency anymore. When you guys played, you can go put 8 5-star guys in a class and just hand them the same piece of paper to sign, and that's not where we're at. But I would say a couple guys, under the radar, if that's how we're framing it. Most recently, Christian Moore, the addition, the linebacker from Selma, Alabama. I joke with Christian, I don't even remember why I started watching his tape last spring. Maybe it was because I saw Selma, Alabama, and I just moved here from the state. And it intrigued me. Oh, a Selma kid, and I threw it on, but I can't remember how that exactly happened. But if you've only watched this year's off the ball linebacker stuff, there's certainly plenty to like. But that's not what made me go on him, because last spring we're watching 2024 tape, and he was an edge player. He was a defensive end, kind of an undersized speed defensive end. And I swear to God, it felt like he had 22 forced fumbles on that tape. I don't know what the number was, but I don't care what level of ball you're playing. Like, guys that can turn the ball over, there's a knack to that. And I remember calling Coach Venables in when I watched him, like, you got to watch this kid. Like, his ability to get the ball out on his junior tape was uncanny. He's got legit pass rush ability, which you don't see as much on the 25 tape, because they did play him off the ball, which was great. That's what we project him as. That's what he did in camp. He's innately physical. We're trying to build a violent defense. He certainly checks that box. And then there's just some makeup stuff with Christian that I'm a big believer in makeup. This kid, he found his way. I reached out to him. Actually, Taylor Redd reached out to him before camp last year. He found his way here from Selma, Alabama, which is not an easy trek, right? He came out, found his way back here for the Michigan game, which that's not easy either in the middle of your football season. So, I mean, there was a lot of want to on Christian's side. Like, he showed me a real side of him that, I think he's going to be one of those dudes. He's going to be, if not like a great leader in this program, I think he's going to be an unbelievable glue guy in this program. Oklahoma clearly means something to him. He wanted to be here really bad. And I think the physicality and the violence, like, that's going to rub off on some other players. Yeah, he's just a really cool player. And then the other guy's Matthew Nelson. Matthew was a guy that wasn't on the board when we got here in March, and we're looking to get longer on defense, especially on the defensive line. And we brought him to camp, and this is another guy. He comes to camp. He's 6'0", so he's just under 6'5". He had 34-inch arms. He was 10'5" in the broad jump. He was 4'6" in his 40. I mean, those are NFL combine measurables at 17 years old. So again, at that point, I think his offers were Memphis and Cincinnati and Air Force or something like that. A group of 5 level offers. So, and the other cool thing about Matthew, talking about the makeup, he comes to camp. He already had been on his OV, he already had the offer. That's what it was. We'd offered him already. He came over with his brother Sam. And Coach Chavis put those through the ringer at camp by themselves, off on the side on a different field. And a lot of guys, after they get that offer, more and more kids are shutting themselves down at these camps. They'll show up because they'll want to see the facilities and they'll want to meet with the coaches, but they don't want to go through everything. They won't run a 40. They won't get measured, whatever it might be. It's kind of like what's happening in the NFL right now. Guys not going through the combine and all the pre-draft stuff. So, for this guy to be ran into the ground by Miguel Chavis like he was, I'm like, man, this guy's the right guy. This is the right family, the right kid. So again, those are just sorry if I got long-winded on you, but those are a couple guys that we believe a lot in, and they were totally under the radar guys. I mean, shoot, Christian Moore was going to North Alabama, and you know, no, nothing against North Alabama, great program. I love going up there, but it's just a different level. But I hope that shows the fan base like we're not going to care about the stars, and I've said that from the beginning, but. We know what we know the type of guys we're trying to add, and we're really excited about those two guys.
Jim, I think we see ball very similarly, brother. We made a clip of our like 6 favorite plays from the signees, and not like our 6 favorite players, but just like 6 clips where we're like, that's awesome. Nelson and Moore, both on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's one. I mean, Moore just destroys this poor pulling guard. It's like it's a bloodbath, dude. It's so good. It's so good. But I've heard you talk about it a lot. It's quarterback, protecting the quarterback, and then going and getting the quarterback. And you guys signed quite a few defensive linemen in this class, headlined by Jake Kreul. What did you see from Kreul as far as a player? And then you talk a lot about the mental makeup of things, like just what type of guy is the program getting with him?
Yeah, so Jake is a guy that I think it's well reported that how much Miguel Chavis loves Jake, and that love affair was started way before I got here. So I wasn't going to mess that one up. But again, another guy that was an easy one. When I got here, started watching all the guys that they had on the board, and they were recruiting heavily, and Jake that was pretty easy tape. But the things you love about him, one is the get off. I mean, that's really hard to coach. You have that first step explosion, or you don't usually. Not that you can't develop it and become more explosive, but Jake's got it. He's a really good mover. His ability to bend and maneuver around blocks and all the counter stuff that he does. He's obviously super skilled for a high school kid. He's probably got a higher skill level as a rusher than most college guys do coming out. He really does. He knows how to set things up. He knows how to attack blockers. He knows how to, keep them off balance. He'll go speed one play. He'll cross face the next play. He's just a really skilled guy. So that's why we think he can come in and contribute right away. We obviously have some, Danny Okoye and Taylor Wine and PJ. Like, we got some really good players coming back at that position. But we think Jake's going to add to that mix and be a factor for us. At minimum in sub downs, you get 3rd and 7 and longer, and let Jake pin his ears back. I think he's going to be a real factor.
We'll get you back to the interview, but first, wind, hail, tornadoes, and earthquakes are now year-round threats. And at the same time, homeowners insurance rates in Oklahoma are the highest in the entire country. Unfortunately, some insurance companies use deceptive and bad faith claim handling practices to deny or lower what little they pay out. Fortunately, one of the leading insurance bad faith attorneys in the country is a longtime Sooner and resides here in Oklahoma, Jeff Marr. The Marr Law Firm has represented more victims of tornado, storm, and earthquake damage than anyone in the Sooner State, recovering hundreds of millions of dollars for their clients. There's only one law firm to handle insurance companies, Marr Law Firm. And 3 things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise. It's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go.
Bishop McGuinness Catholic High School represents a tradition of educational excellence in Oklahoma City. Grounded in a faith-based education, Bishop McGuinness offers a college prep curriculum that includes 26 AP courses, participation in OSSAA athletics, and numerous clubs and organizations for students to join and grow. If you want to provide the best possible educational and spiritual development for your children, contact Bishop McGuinness Catholic High School or visit bmchs.org. Financial aid is available.
And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. All right, back to the interview.
I think a lot of people are, because of the injury situation and the rotation of running back, here late in the season, people are probably looking to that spot in the recruiting class to see, how we're addressing depth there. What'd you think about the couple of running backs you guys signed?
Yeah, really fired up about both those guys. So when I got here, Jonathan Hatton was like the guy. And I don't know if it was me coming here, but I felt like the next 3 days later he decommits. And DeMarco was bummed out, as he should be. The guy's a good player. And he ended up circling back to us. I brought up the negative recruiting yesterday and how that was happening. I'm not saying A&M was doing it, but I think that happened enough to Jonathan Hatton where he was like, you know what, maybe I need to look somewhere else. Maybe this staff's not going to be there. But to his credit, man, and to our staff's credit, they've put a good product on the field this year, and it allowed Jonathan to circle back to us and give DeMarco a lot of credit. He kept those lines of communication open, which is key. And he just didn't get pissed and move on to the next guy. He stayed on with Jonathan, and I'd heard over and over like what a great young man Jonathan is and what a great family they have. And he and his mom came up they did the OV for the LSU game, and man, unbelievable kid, an unbelievable mom, totally the right people for our program. I thought his tape got a lot better this year, as good as it was as a junior. I thought his senior tape was better, which is what you want to see, but in terms of height, weight, speed combo in this year's class, I can't imagine there's got a better guy out there, 220 pounds. I think he ran 10.4, 10.5 in the 100 meters, which is obviously rolling for a running back. I do think top end speed, I've said it a lot, I think is the most overrated thing for a running back. I think short burst is more important than long speed. But man, if you got long speed, I was with the Kansas City Chiefs for a few years with Jamal Charles, and it's fun to have a guy that can go the distance. I'll say that. So it was good to get Jonathan. He's an SEC back. He's 220 pounds. You need a guy like that in this league. I mean, this isn't a league for small running backs. And then Dezef and Walker, Dez was to me a great find. I think our staff did a really good job. When Hatton flipped to A&M, we had to find somebody else. There wasn't a lot of names on the board. And, Dez was going down the road pretty far with Notre Dame. And I think they got 2 commitments back to back from other running backs, which kind of left Dez out, and Kansas State was on him. I mean, he's a really highly recruited kid out of Missouri, like top 1 or 2 players in the state of Missouri, and 4-star guy, all that stuff. And so we circled, and I don't think we offered until late April, and we got the commitment in June. So a really limited recruitment period, but his family came down here and bought right in. And in the NFL, we'd always refer to some prospects as we thought guys would be better pros than they were college players. Like that was something you'd hear a lot in draft rooms. I think this guy's going to be a better pro than he was a college player. I think Dez is going to be a better college player than he was a high school player. He was he didn't have a lot around him in high school, and that happens sometimes. He was the stud of that team. My biggest thing with Dez, he's 210, 215 pounds, and he can make people miss. So I love that about him. He's a little bit different contrast from Jonathan Hatton. So I think stylistically they'll complement each other. And 2 good ones, man. You need good backs in this league. You need a lot of them. So to add those 2 guys, we're fired up about it.
Looking at the guys you brought in at wide receiver, big and explosive is how I would describe them, Jim, which is typically a great combination to have at wide receiver. The conversation starts with Petit, right? That guy looks like, I mean, he's unlike any guy we've had here in quite some time.
Yeah, there's not many guys like this out there. It's not just on you. This guy's pretty unique. I've been on record. He's my favorite receiver I've looked at since I've taken the job. From the minute I got here, watched his tape. He just does smaller man stuff. He was 6'0", 222 pounds on his visit. So basically 6'3" and a half, 222 pounds. And I said it to you guys yesterday on the show downstairs that, I mean, he came out for the photo shoot and it was like, whoa. He looked like a guy should be playing on Sundays right now. And you put on his tape, and he was playing against, wasn't the highest level of competition, but man, he was a man amongst boys, and that's what it should look like. For me, I equate it to watching like a Division II player or an FCS level player. Like they should stick out. You shouldn't have to you shouldn't have to tell someone who you're looking for when you put that tape on. It should be pretty clear right away. And Jayden Petit, I mean, he sticks out. I think he's gonna have a chance to come in here and play right away. We need a big perimeter playmaker. That was a goal to add one of those in the class. I think he's that guy. So yeah, man, his ability, what he can do transitioning from catch to run and make things happen after the catch and create and stop and start and break people down and then run away from, like, his run after catch skill set is really cool. And we need that. The goal is to add playmakers. I didn't really care what size they were. Of course, it's great to get bigger ones, but we just had to get playmakers that were good with the ball in their hands, and we feel like we got a few of them.
Couple of tight ends. Now Ruxer's a kid from Indiana, highly sought after. The kid down there from Frisco, Texas, pretty good as well. Is that a position you guys felt that you had to get something going in recruiting and address, or is it just you kind of happen across these guys and found some great talent that is maybe available?
Yeah, no, we wanted to add a couple guys to that group, and again, Ryder Mix was on board from the time I got here, which was great. I mean, he is a makeup guy through and through. I mean, he comes up here for all the games and he wears his cowboy boots, and he's just like your typical Texan, man. He is tough as I always got to watch my words. He's really tough. I'll put it that way. I wish we could do one of these over a couple beers and then just let it rip. But I'd be describing these guys.
We make the rules here, brother. You can do whatever you want.
We would be describing these guys a little bit differently, but I know this is a family program. But no, Ryder's he's a tough ass kid, and he's he was used a lot more in the passing game this year. I think he's sneaky there, and he's going to put his face on you and block you. And so that was cool. And then he was the guy. We had to find another one, and Tyler Ruxer was the guy that we were just going through high school track times actually. And going through a database of high school track times, and we watched about 100 players, both at wide receiver and tight end, just trying to find some speed. And really, Tyler was the first one after like 100 guys. I was like, okay, are we going to abandon this project? We haven't found anybody yet. But we just kept going, and Rux was the guy. He plays corner on that football team. He's an athlete. He goes both ways. Again, 6'3.5". He'll probably be 235 pounds next year for us. And with that speed, I mean, not many linebackers can run 11 flat in a 100-meter dash. I mean, that's faster than some college wide receivers run, quite frankly. So this guy's going to be a matchup problem. He's got really nice ball skills, and he's tough. I mean, you see him on defense. He'll come up and tackle. I'm excited about what he can do in the kicking game. I know probably a lot of guys in my position in college don't talk about where guys project to in special teams. That's a big part of who I am coming from the NFL. Like, we don't want freshmen here not playing and seeing the field. Like, that linebacker group I'm fired up about, because to me, they're going to be the core of the special teams next year for us. But I think Tyler's going to be able to play in the kicking game because he's such a good athlete and he's a tough kid.
You mentioned that linebacking core, and I know we talked about Christian Moore, guys, just head of concrete. But
Yep.
the Jacob Curry's a guy can really run. Bo Jandro, you look at his highlight tape, like when he sees it, he can really run. It seems like that athleticism, that ability to run and hit, whether you're on defense or special teams, was clearly something you guys were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, run and hit guys, bottom line. Wanted to add speed, wanted to add violence, and those guys all have it. It's similar to the wide receiver group. When you see these guys physically, they're all going to look a little different. Dane Bathurst is, almost 6'4", 242 pounds already. I mean, guys, we're not putting a limit on Dane. He might end up in Chavis's room. He might end up in the edge room. But I think his clearest path to the field next year is probably as a Mike. So that's where we're going to start him. I think he's going to be an unbelievable blitzer. You guys know how much we bring pressure. I think 52% as of a couple weeks ago. I think we were blitzing 52%. And Dane's a big, violent man. I mean, he's really fun to watch. That's the biggest compliment I can give any player. And I always told it, when I was scouting guys in the NFL and I'd see him at the Senior Bowl or the Combine, I'm like, man, your tape was so much fun to watch. I felt that way with a lot of these guys, Dane being one of them. So he's just a big old Mike that can rush the passer. Even if he's like base downs off the ball, I think on third down we can line him up on the edge and get a lot out of him. So maybe look for some packages that way. You brought up Jacob Curry. That was a relationship thing where he was committed to Northwestern. An agent calls me, who I'm good friends with. Hey, Jim, can you take a look at this guy? It took me about 5 minutes, and I called him right back. Yup, let's get him. Let's get him to Norman. Really fast, man. Fast, plays hard. Probably more of a Will. And then Christian Moore we talked about, more of a Mike. And really, I think Bo Jandrew could play Will or Mike. I mean, he's got the size to play Mike. He'll come downhill. He'll knock your teeth out. He's got the speed to run, and just love how he plays. The Jandrew brothers, I love those guys. They're going to be fan favorites here. Just the way they play, I think they'll both play right away. We can get into Nico too, but Bo was hurt a lot this year, so he missed a lot of time. And then when he came back late in the year, they've got a really good team out in Arizona right now. This Hamilton high school football team. I mean, they got dudes everywhere. Like I don't know what they're ranked in the country. There can't be too many high school teams better than this Hamilton team. And Bo came back the last couple of weeks, and I mean, you wouldn't think he was coming off a foot injury. I mean, he was just putting his foot in the ground and getting after it. So that whole group, really fun group of players to watch.
Two defensive linemen. Now, I don't know if they project that way or, the classification there, but Carrington and Brian Harris, what'd you think of those guys?
Yeah, I love both of them. They're a little bit different, but they're both athletic. Tank is super athletic. He is your classic three technique. Think of him in like the Grayson mold. He's extremely quick off the ball. He's got great movement skills, which if you're going to be a great one in this defense, you got to have that. As much as we move those guys off other people, and you got to have that ability to bend. I mean, I think this guy could help us right away. I really do. I think the staff feels that way too, especially in sub, because he's so quick off the rock and he's so athletic. A couple years ago, for whatever it's worth, he was a 5-star kid. Like 2 years ago as a sophomore, he moved around to some different high schools, and we did our homework on that and why that happened. We felt good about it after looking into it, and guy he's got incredible upside as a player, and I think he can help right away. And Brian Harris is a guy that played a lot on the edge in high school, so a little bit of a tweener, but he's long and he's athletic. You're gonna love the guy. I mean, I think he's probably already a OU fan favorite with his personality. He's a great musician. He's just kind of a Renaissance kid at a young age, Renaissance guy at a young age. Great recruiter for us. I mean, as soon as he got on board, you talk about, hitting guys up and trying to get him on the boat with him. His best football is yet to come too, because he's played a lot out on the edge. You move him inside, what Coach Bates has done with some of these other guys. I think Brian Harris has a lot of raw material to work with, so we're excited.
Did you and the other front office guys just put on Deacon Schmidt's highlight tape and giggle? Like, was that just I have to imagine that I ended up just feeling bad for the other kids, Jim. That's kind of where I was at with this highlight tape. It's super fun to watch, man.
You know what's great about it is he's a bully and he likes it. Like he likes it. He likes abusing smaller defensive linemen. I told him, now you're going to have to start doing that to some bigger dudes you get in the SEC, but he's got the right mentality. So again, family means so much. His parents are incredible. His mom used to drive him down to a trainer, couple out like an hour and a half away. They would get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, drive to the trainers, get there a little after 5 o'clock or whatever it was, train their butts off for an hour, get back in the car and go to school. Like this kid, he is, the trainer's name is Matt McChesney. He's out of Denver, played at Colorado, former offensive lineman. So he's training a lot of these dudes, and he's going to be a good guy for us to stay in touch with. Matt is, because I mean, what he puts his guys through, what you're getting. This guy, that's why he plays the way he plays. Deacon's got a real edge to him. But then when you get him off the field, if you guys ever get him on the podcast, like you would never guess he plays like that. He is like this fun-loving guy and always has a smile on his face. And then he gets on the field and plays the way he plays. So again, I think Deacon can play right away. I wouldn't put that on a lot of offensive linemen in this league. I really wouldn't. I don't think it's fair. But I think Deacon's got a chance to come in and play right, help us right away at one of the guard spots. He'll certainly be in the rotation there, maybe at tackle. We'll see how that all works out. Like we talked about trying to get more position versatility up front. You know, you can't just play one spot. You know, like that really hinders you from a roster management standpoint. We got to get guys that play multiple spots. So, you know, you get him and Foje and guys like that in a mix and start mixing and matching in camp next year and through the spring and see what the best combination is. But no, Deacon's a really good athlete too. It's not like he's just some stiff, like try hard, tough guy. Like he can really come off the ball. He plays with good pad level and bend, and he can roll into contact and adjust in the move. Like he's a really good athlete too. So let's not lose it that he's like this mauling dude. He's really a good athlete. So excited to get him.
We'll get you back to the interview. But first, guys, it's time to make the switch to the Ridge Wallet 2.0. You need to head to ridge.com/OKBreakdown right now to take advantage of Ridge's biggest sale of the year, where you can get up to 47% off. The days of the super fat wallet that hurts to sit on are over. Make the switch to this sleek modern design that can hold up to 12 cards and cash. Ridge has over 50 colors and styles to choose from, and they are giving you free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all of their products. This is literally the last wallet you'll ever have to buy, and Ridge wallets have RFID blocking technology that keeps you safe from digital pickpocketers. This is a perfect Christmas gift for any dude in your life. And for a limited time only, Ridge is having their huge sale. This is by far the biggest discount they've given all year. That's ridge.com/OKBreakdown for up to 47% off your order during their biggest sale of the year. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. I'm a bidet guy, and you should be too. They make your butt cleaner. Why would anyone not want to have a super clean butt? A Tushy bidet will help you have a super clean butt. In fact, 99% of people who wash with Tushy Wave feel cleaner and fresher after going to the bathroom. If you're thinking, I don't want to have the extra plumbing done, good news. Every Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. And it gets better. You can install it yourself. It's easy and takes about 10 minutes. Believe me, I know. I installed the one that they sent me myself. And if I can do it, I promise you, you can do it. And you spend less money on toilet paper. Just try it. Just try it. Remember, a-hole is only a dirty word if you wipe. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code OKBreakdown at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code OKBreakdown. All right, back to the interview.
Anytime I watch a high school kid or even college individual player, the first thing I always do is, who does he remind me of? And whenever you look at this roster, not to put you on the spot, but is there anyone that you guys signed whenever you watched him, you said, boom, he reminds me of this guy, and it really stuck out to you?
That's a great question. Man, I haven't thought about that. The guy that Nico Jandrew reminded me of was Jalen Petrie, who's starting safety for the Houston Texans. Really good player.
Oh, you're about to get Teddy. Jim, we were essentially president of the Jalen Petrie fan club. We were on him way before everyone else. We were like, dude, this guy from Baylor is a problem. And then we ended up playing him in the Big 12 championship game.
And he was a problem.
And he was a problem. Yeah. So we had Jalen in the Senior Bowl a couple years ago, and the way they used him at Baylor is similar to kind of like our cheetah role. He's kind of an overhang player. I think that year he had like 17 tackles for loss. Like he's just triggering downhill and blowing up perimeter stuff, which Nico's going to be able to do. And then, my pitch to Jalen that year to come play in the Senior Bowl is like, man, like nobody's seen you really play from depth. Nobody's seen you in man coverage. Like come to Mobile, do all that stuff. Show the teams you can do it. And he had a great week doing all that stuff. And that's why I think he went in the second round. So I think Nico's versatility that way. I think Nico can play safety. I don't think he's just a cheetah. We're not recruiting guys just to play the cheetah spot. Like that's, if they get here and they've got that kind of skill set, we'll move him there. But I think he can play either safety spot for us. I think he can play cheetah. I think he's going to be a monster on special teams. And so, yeah, that would probably be the one. And then, the other guy is Jasir Rogers that we haven't talked about, the guy we flipped from Penn State, the receiver. Trying to think of I don't know who he reminds me of, but that dude is so much fun to watch too. I brought it up yesterday to you guys is when these coaches were getting let go, and it felt a little gross at times. Guys are getting fired, and I'm sending texts to the scouting staff, hey, start digging in, get into their 26 commit group, and let's get on the roster. We've got our staff each has a position group that they're responsible for, on a cross-check basis. So we did. When James Franklin got let go, we kind of unleashed the hounds on the roster, and Jasir Rogers was a guy like immediately you put on his tape, you're like, how did he not take any more visits? Like Penn State just locked this thing down, and then we did some research. I think he ran at least they say he ran in the high 4.3s at a camp there, and then that's when they put the wall up around this kid after he ran that at their camp. They didn't want anyone, and he's playing in Delaware, right? Probably an under-recruited area, part of the country. But you talk about lightning in a bottle and being able to do a lot of different stuff. Should help us in the return game at some point, and just get the ball in his hands and let him do his thing. Get out of his way because he's quick and fast. Just a super explosive playmaker. So that was a fun. I don't know who he reminds me of, but gosh, he's got a really cool skill set.
You mentioned it at the start. Signing day is in the books. And now it's all about roster retention. The portal's right around the corner. Like, what's the balance now for you? How do you delegate your time between now and that portal opening? Like, I assume there's a lot of work to be done, Jim.
Well, we've worked hard on the portal up to this point all season. So our scouting staff did advanced work on all our opponents, which we then handed off. Player reports, and that hasn't been done a lot in college. Obviously our coaching staff and the analysts and the GAs, they put a lot of work in on advanced work, but not like individual player advances, right? It's more scheme and what tendencies, what do they do here? What calls do they make? For us, it's more about just the individual player, break down Gabe Ikard, what strengths, weaknesses, pros, cons, and, trying to give our coaching staff something to sink their teeth into getting ready for opponents. So we did every opponent. So think about that's 12 opponents. We got the book on the roster of all 12 opponents. And then I think we've got over 2,000 players graded right now across college football. And I'm not going to get exactly how we identified the guys to look at, but so there's been a lot of work. Charlie Parkinson, our assistant college director, has put in a ton of work there, and so we're working on that for sure. And then the retention part is just so key, man. Like if we could just like re-sign every guy on the roster and go into the offseason with this team plus their 26 class, that would be ideal. I would love that. But is that a reality in college football? No, it's not. But we love this team. Like I said, it's going to be hard to replicate kind of where we're at right now in terms of where this team has come together and gelled and the cohesion. That's going to be hard. But certainly everyone in our locker room has played a part in that. You don't necessarily have to show up on Saturdays like Kip Lewis to be a big part of this football team. There's guys on the scout team that are a big part of what we're doing right now. You guys know that. You guys have been a part of really great teams here. So I would love to do that, but that's not the reality. So yeah, we're working hard right now to lock it down. I'd like to get as many guys done before the playoff game as we possibly can. And we're on the phone all day and into the evenings with the agents right now. So that's it. Yeah, it's a busy time, but it's a fun time because we're still outside practicing during the day, getting ready for a playoff game. So a really, really meaningful playoff game. So which could be played, here in the Palace, which is especially cool. So yeah, it's a really fun time to be in the building, and nobody here is taking it for granted either.
I would imagine the success of this team helps both in the high school recruiting, the transfer portal stuff, and even I would say the retention. But I think the vision of the football team before the season and kind of where they ended up being their best and winning football games may be a little bit different than some people envisioned. Does the makeup of this team and really how they're winning, does that change at all the qualities that you guys look for, or is the checklist always going to be the same?
Now, you know what, Teddy, I think that's a great question. I think what this season has done is just reinforced why this program values certain things in players. It really manifested itself this season on the field. We are going to be the blue collar team of the SEC. Okay. Like we don't put that out there a lot, but that's who we are and that's what we want to be. There's going to be guys go to other programs with flashier stuff, and that's fine. You know what? Like we're going to get the guys at OU that belong at OU, and for reasons like this season. Your quarterback is off to a great start, breaks his hand, and guts through it. And you kind of got to change a little bit, right? And it kind of tested everybody. Everyone had to. Whenever you have something happen to a great player, as you guys know, everyone has to elevate their games, and I think this team has done that. I don't think we can ever count on having a kicker like Tate Sandell ever again, but we got him right now, and it's a really cool weapon to have. But yeah, to your point, I mean, again, it's just reinforced. We're going after the right kinds of guys, the right people, the right families, guys that value hard work, want to get better, like buy into OU because we're a developmental program and it's about football and it's about the brotherhood. If we continue to identify those guys and be disciplined, taking those guys and maybe not chase the shiny object or something in recruiting, which is hard to do sometimes, we're gonna be just fine, man. This coaching staff, Coach Venables, especially Coach Venables, setting the culture here, man. They've done a really good job. So we need to stay on that course.
I've got another roster retention question for you, Jim. And this is something you talked about when you took the job. You have so many relationships in the National Football League. How have you used your connections in the scouting community, the people at the Senior Bowl? Like, how have you used that in these conversations with the guys about whether, hey, maybe it's a good idea for you to come back? You're not going to get drafted where you want to get drafted if you come out. Like, what has that balancing act been like for you? Because as long as I've known you, you've always been, let's go with a very straight shooter.
Yeah, yeah. Which I need to maybe adjust a little bit. You shoot some of these agents straight about their college guys, and but no, I've always been that. I feel like with our players, I'm always going to hit our players straight. Like if so, right now I'm in the process. I hit up all 32 GMs on Monday or Tuesday. Probably gotten responses back so far. They've all hit me back, but like guys with like real information. I'm trying to get some get a handle on where they've got some of our guys, and we've probably got tangible feedback from probably 20 or 20 plus teams. And you just got to give them the real information, and it's straight from the horse's mouth. If the GM hadn't seen them themselves, they've downloaded with the guys on their staff, and okay, what do you think of player X, player Y? And so gathering that feedback right now for the guys and just going to present it to them, trying to package it up. Here it is. You want my feedback? Of course we want our guys here, man. But what plays a factor for one guy doesn't play a factor for another. I mean, these guys all have life circumstances, family situations that are going to help dictate, certain things. And it's different when you guys came out and you were making nothing. Like a lot of guys back when you probably had a lot of teammates that made bad football decisions because they felt like they had to go to the NFL. I got to try to, feed my family. So I'm going to make that jump. Whether they knew they were going to be an undrafted free agent or late round guy, they took the jump because they felt compelled to. At least now we can, these guys are getting paid well, so can help us, retain some of them. But no, to your point, I'm working with these guys right now. Going to have some really frank conversations with them. I'm going to treat all these guys like they were my son. I'm going to give them that advice, like, hey man, if you were my son, I would tell you to do this. So it's going to be different for every player, and it's what the player's motivated by too. Like if all the NFL teams are saying third round, but you really want to be a first round draft pick, let's have that conversation. Can you even get there? Is someone with your skill set and your size and speed and whatever your physical profile is, if you come back for another year, can you even get to the first round? Like that's something a lot of these guys don't think through. So I'm going to help them any way that I can. I think that's a big role of mine in this program. We want to get our guys there. We want our guys to realize all their goals in life. So any way I can do that, I'm going to be here for them.
Does your retention bucket financially grow with every win through November?
I wish. I wish. No, the bucket probably is needed to grow. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no doubt. It's similar. I equate it to like when you go to the Super Bowl in the NFL, everyone wants your players. You know, you always see those Super Bowl teams get picked off, and the guys that are special teamers on the Super Bowl team, another team sees them as a starter. So, hope that doesn't happen again. Getting right back to the culture piece of it, man, like I can't overstate it. You guys are around the building a lot. I know the fans aren't, but the culture piece is really strong here. Brent's done an unreal job, being himself and being true to who he is. And again, we're not going to be for everybody, but the guys that we're for, like they're bought in, man. Like they love their coach, they love their teammates. So hopefully those things will matter when it comes to keeping this roster together.
If we can just get a little better offensively, watch out, buddy. Watch out, buddy. Jim, you're the man. Thanks for
Okay.
taking so much time. Congrats on your first signing class. That's got to
Well
be
done.
a great feeling, man. And I speak for a lot of people. We're just so damn glad to have you here, dude. You're
Appreciate
awesome. You're the best.
No, thank you, man. No, it's crazy. We've been coming on your podcast for years, man. But I will say this: I've had a lot of guys reach out from the NFL about this job, and they're curious too. You know, like how is it? What's it like? Would I want one of those jobs someday? This has been the most enjoyable year I've had in football in a long, long time, man. It's been a blast, and really, I mean, it's the people in this building, but it's also the people just in Oklahoma. Like honestly, I know, Gabe, you and I live close to each other. That the neighborhood, the people up in OKC where we live are great, man. They've been really accepting of my family and happy wife, happy life type of thing. My wife loves it here, man. She loves it. So we are, my daughter loves it. So we're excited to be here.
Would you please tell all the NFL guys that it won't work? It's a dead model. You hate it. And because this is our advantage over everyone else. Okay. We don't want everyone doing it.
Yeah, no, yeah. If any guys are listening, this job stinks. You don't want it.
Too much work. It's ridiculous. Jim, you're the man.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, see you guys.
Man, it feels like that guy was such a great addition to this program.
We're off and running with it. Yeah. You have to imagine year one was like just trying to figure out the process and finely tune everything. But now that they've got that first class under their belt and probably know exactly how they want everything to operate, the future's bright.
I know that they are feeling very good about where things are headed with the 2027 class as well. I can't imagine hosting a college football playoff game hurts that either.
No kidding.
I don't know the rules.
That's what I was about to say for recruiting and having kids there.
I would assume, you have recruits at every other game. I can't imagine having recruits to that's a good question. I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I knew the rules.
Yeah. Have to figure that one out.
Probably should have better interviewers would have asked the man that question probably. But hey,
Right.
It's us. We are what we are, people. Birthday shout outs. And here we go. I forgot to type out the birthday shout outs. So this is what I'm going to do. I always take screenshots of them and then I type them out and put them in the rundown. And I'm just going to read the screenshots.
Perfect.
So if you wanted Teddy to read your birthday shout out, my sincere apologies. Here we go. Happy 61st birthday to Ed the Ice Sooner.
Happy birthday, Ice.
Happy 8th birthday to Pruitt.
Happy birthday, Pruitt.
Now, the person who sent it in's last name was Meyer, so I'm Pruitt Meyer, I
Yeah.
think.
There
Happy
you go.
birthday, Pruitt. All right, let's scroll pictures of my kids and OU football helmets. Here we go. Happy first birthday to future Sooner Arlo Bubby. Oh, man. Piece of Shuby? Do you know this name? Pisachubbe?
Happy
Piece of
birthday,
Shuby?
Bubby.
Yeah, Bubby. We're going. I'm so sorry. There's no way that was right. I apologize. Happy 7th birthday to Axel Shirley.
What a name. Happy birthday, Axel.
Nailed that one, no doubt. Happy birthday. Happy 39th birthday to Kylie Callahan.
Happy birthday, Kylie.
Couple easy ones after the really tough one. I'm feeling better about things. Here we go. Happy first birthday to future Sooner Josie Claire.
Happy birthday, Josie.
Remember when this was how we do it? Like we would read them and then you would say this. That was a horrible format. That was like years ago. But the people that are still listening to the podcast right now are the diehards.
Right.
We should start like giving away stuff in the middle of birthday shout outs.
Just a random giveaway.
Just random giveaways. All right, here we go. Actually. Happy 25th birthday to Kelsey Davis.
Happy birthday, Kelsey.
Of course, we've got a ton when I forgot to type it out and I've got to read them all myself. This is great. We're having fun. Happy birthday, Carter Bubba Crook.
Happy birthday, Bubba.
Okay, here we go. Oh, no. This is not a happy birthday. But, okay, this is a happy engagement to Parker and Olivia.
Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations. Marital bliss. All right, that's it. The other stuff are call your shot screenshots.
Nice.
Which, by the way, we asked, hey, what's your response to OU Bama? Taylor Ross said boring. I think it'll be a good game, but who wants a rematch from just a couple weeks ago? We should have gotten Miami while A&M got Bama. Boring. Come on, Taylor. Boring. Nothing boring about hosting a playoff game. I like the matchup
better than playing Miami, honestly.
You feel like you're going to have a confident football team coming into it.
No doubt.
We will break it down from every angle over the next couple weeks.
No doubt.
That is our promise to you. And if you're still listening to this podcast, you're the best. What episode is this, Ted? I forgot to write that down too. I'm horrible tonight. This is
586-ish.
586? That sounds right. No, I think it's 587. Yep.
587?
Yep. Last one was 586. At least I have that written down.
There we go. Nice.
On that note, episode 587 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Wednesday. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, please check out our website, okbreakdown.com. Until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.